Hi Bob, this is an overall video of the case, and because of tight quarters I'm not able to really get far enough away to do it justice, but I will be taking a whole lot of other close-ups, both video and still. This is a inside corner for the base, and that little square that you see there is nailed into the wood base to prevent the case from shifting on the flat surface. And here you see the front and the side pieces of glass. Each are in their own glazed pieces. That is, they have their own surrounds. And then this is the actual, what you're seeing. I'm trying to get a close-up without this thing going out of focus because of all the shiny stuff. And so the corner itself is rounded. Now you'll get another video of this with the glass out. Basically, what you see are these knurled knobs. This is permanently affixed, screwed into the frame, and that's really used as a handhold when you tilt the glass out. This, as well as the other one here, and there are a pair of these on each of the four pieces of glass that are on the side. These basically are what hold the glass in. So if you take your finger and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then it is possible to take the glass out, and you can now see the glass can be opened. And what I will do is take the glass out and then show you how that glass is built. There are pins both here and over here which fit into the base of the glass, and that is evidenced here. And then also here. Let me move this out a little bit. You can see it a little clearer there. Now you can see that these holes are they're oval to allow for a little bit of error. And also notice that it is not centered. It's a little bit off to the inside, and that is what allows you to get this reveal of the frame on this edge here. And one can see that this bottom rail is one milled piece and then is joined in the corner with a half round bullnose, and the top piece fits in again with a pin And you can see here is the top piece comes down to this area here where you have this seam, and then comes up a little bit and is butt fitted here with a straight area. This little square lays on top of this piece here. This corner section here also allows the base frame here and here to be connected through this screw here, and another one opposite here. And again, this piece here, this square, is just simply set into the wood to keep the entire thing from shifting. And this, of course, is just a view of the side panel that was removed. The upper right-hand corner, you can see, is made in a similar fashion. You can actually see both screws. The other one, you could only see one screw because that square in the middle was covering the other one. But they are basically built in the same fashion. Now on the upper left-hand corner, you can actually see the ends of the two screws here and here. And again, this is a solid piece of frame that has a rounded edge here. And is this, again, this square, try to get it in focus, this square butt frame here that it pushes into. And you can then see around the corner, there's this bull nose that is at a 45-degree angle for both this piece and then this piece here on the side. Once again, these are the screws that one uses to push to secure the glass. And in fact, if you look down, you can see where it protrudes into the slot in order to hold the glass. The width of this rail and all of the rails, top, bottom, and side, is 1/2 inch. The other thing to point out is, of course, the fact that the front glass has these openings here for winding, 1, 2, 3, as well as one here, which is already open for the setting. So basically, you can, and he's even put a little arrow to indicate what the winding would be. I don't think that's all that necessary, but what I would like to do is to put a piece of plastic in the front glass, and once it's delivered and we have the plinth, the base made for this, and we know exactly how high the clock will be, then I can send the glass out to be drilled. I now have the front glass removed from the mechanism, and you can see one of the corner sections. I'll try to get a focus on that if I can. Boy, this is tough. The cross section of the corner rail is exactly 1/2 inch, as you can see here. And if you go to a right angle, it too is exactly 1/2 inch. The depth of the channels is 3/16. Both, everywhere you go is 3/16. There you go. 3/16. And it's the same with the upper rails. 3/16. Now, of course, these dimensions don't have to be perfectly to a millimeter or a 16th or whatever, as long as the glass fits within the frame properly. And as long as we have a curve around the side like we do here, and a little bit of a reveal would be very nice, which is what we have here with this frame having a little bit of a reveal over this curve. Again, that is not critical. What is critical is that all the pieces of glass can be removed and that the frame be about this sort of delicacy. It can be a little thicker if it has to be, but Derek had done a really nice job on making this frame fairly thin and yet fairly strong enough to put in all 5 pieces of glass, 4 all the way around and 1 on the top. And the length of these corners that are at the base come out to be just about 1 3/8 inches at the very tip. And again, you can tell that he gives it a little bit of a curvature on the inside. Again, not necessary, but a nice touch. And now we get into the construction of the individual glass frames. Beginning with the corners, you can see there are 4 screws here, 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 and here. And then there is another screw here, and as you go up a little ways, another one here, and then another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 screws in the corner tie into a corner bracket, and that corner bracket then secures this rail and this rail. And in fact, he goes through all the trouble of even numbering these rail pieces, which again is really not necessary, but he does do nice work. Now, these 2 screws here, which are toward the other portion of this frame, hold in this piece here, and you can see it stops where this corner piece is. Same over here. And this is held in by those screws all the way over to here, where again you start this corner frame, and once again it goes all the way over down the length, and on the long end you have 1 screw in the center also, and then goes all the way to here, where it then joins up with this corner piece here. Now, this is nothing but a piece of tape that I put in order to make it fit a little bit more snugly. Now, what this particular type of construction allowed Buchanan to do is to make out of 1 piece of channel, which I would suspect is probably something that he is able to get commercially. I don't think he actually made the channel. And you're able then to have a section of U channel wide enough to fit into that half-inch recess space and allow that little bit of extra reveal, which comes here. And it then also allows you to put in a single strength piece of glass and then fill the rest of it up with the appropriate width of this to match the channel. Now, the width of this is going to matter on how wide a channel that you're using, and how wide a channel you're using will then affect how deep a recess it is you want in those corners and those base rails. All of that is open to slight differences. Once you establish the channel, you can establish the rest of it. In this case, the width of the channel is exactly 3/8 of an inch. The other nice thing about the way Buchanan did this is that by putting all the screws on the inside, he's able to make the outside completely seamless as far as any fasteners. He makes it look as if the channel was almost welded together. And this is the outside, which again shows the really neat work that he was able to accomplish on this. And that shows in the corners here. I might also add that there was no need for any gasket. He was able to just have this fitted in. Now, I do recall that as I built this thing up, that in some areas where the glass was rattling a little bit, I just put some pieces of masking tape on, and that took care of the problem. And this is just one of the holding knurls that he put in. He is known for his work on this. Again, not necessary, just nice. You know, in closing, Bob, what I'd really like to emphasize is not that it has to be done Buchanan's way. Buchanan does everything, you know, a particular way, and not always, shall we say not ever, the easy way. If your guys have a better way to do this, the only thing that matters is that each piece of glass fits into the frame correctly and is removable individually from the frame. Obviously, once all the pieces are taken out, the frame becomes rather fragile, so one would rarely do that unless one is going to take that frame apart. And I'm just taking a little video of this for you. I thought you might enjoy, again, some of his work, which of course you've seen. You've been there, and this is a clock that he had restored for me, and I can get into more of that with you at another time. But again, if your guys decide that they would like to take a stab at just reproducing this, then I have absolutely no problem dismantling this frame and giving them, for example, this entire side section. And then I can give them also this base here, you know, the front and the side if they need it. I can give them the whole thing, but I mean, it's duplicative. Once you have a side and you have the front, you have the other two sides and the rear. And if they want to just take those pieces and duplicate exactly the way that he did it, that works for me too. Thanks for your help, and I will send this off to you now.